Hi guys, C here. Thank you so much for clicking to join me in today's video. It is officially fall, and that means it is past time to start planning for some fall sewing. Now, this is going to be my first time fall sewing in many years. Last year this time I was in my third trimester with my third baby, and sewing was furthest from my mind. And then years prior I was on a sewing hiatus. So this is going to be my first time really doing some fall sewing since about 2016, and I'm really excited. I'm headed into the fall season with the mindset of making more staple pieces, making more wearable pieces, as well as expanding in prints, in colors, and in texture. I also plan on dabbling in an array of pieces. So tops and blouses, dresses and pants and jackets and coats. I'm here for it. I have kicked off my fall sewing with this lovely number. This is McCall's 8139 View A. I do believe I will put a picture of the pattern on the screen for your reference. And today is 86 degrees. So it's really hot. I'm fortunate that I did the shorter length and the shorter sleeves. I tried to wear the boots. It's too hot for them. So this is a piece that we're going to wear in the AC for right now until we can layer it up. I look forward to wearing it with some boots and some tights and a nice cardigan. But until then, we are bare-legged and bare-armed. Now, as you can see, we have a lot going on my workbench. We have a lot. I feel like Vanna White. Okay, I digress. I have a lot of pattern and fabric pairings, and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you. You should anticipate to see, Vanna White again. You should anticipate to see a lot of these in my upcoming batch cutting video, but I didn't get around to sewing all of the pieces that I batch cut for spring and summer. I missed out on 3 pieces due to the change of the season. I had a really busy summer, so it's not a failure on my part. I do still have those pieces. I am still excited about them. I'll work on them next year. And since I didn't get around to sewing everything that I batch cut for spring and summer, I'm going to keep that in mind for fall and heading into winter. I don't want to cut more than I can sew, especially with life and possibly taking up more sewing challenges that may come up. So we're gonna play it by ear. We're going to do a little at a time. Let's kick things off by discussing my tops or my blouses that I plan to cut this fall, or that I'm hopeful to cut this fall. The first of which is going to be McCall's 8284. This pattern has 2 tops and 2 dress patterns, and I am interested in view A. I'm not so much interested in any of the other views, but I love blouses. I've really been taking a liking to rayon chalets, the silky fabrics, the chiffons, the satins. I'm really taking a liking to those. I learned that this summer. And so I'm going to head into fall with the same thing in mind. I love wearing blouses. I wear them to work. I wear them casually. So this is something that I do plan on getting a lot of wear out of. I'm also really enjoying the buttons and buttonhole making. So view A is where it's at. I love the deeper neckline and the pointed collar, as well as the buttons. And for that pattern, I have this blue and white. It is a floral. You will see a lot of florals today. I just got a thing for them. I can't help it. So I have chosen this light blue floral silky fabric. This is a rayon chalet, and I think it's just gonna look beautiful. I love the feel of it. It has a nice little weight to it. So I think this is going to be great for that. And I'm gonna pair it with some white buttons. This fabric in this top will look great with a pair of denim pants, a pair of slacks, whether they may be winter white or even white for next year, spring and summer. They'll also look great with a pair of navy slacks for work, black slacks. It's definitely going to be quite versatile in my wardrobe, and I'm looking forward to that. The next top I have in mind is Simplicity 8880. This pattern has 4 different views. They're all tops for the fall season or just as a layering piece. I'm looking at view D or view A. I like the balloon or the bishop sleeves of view A, and then I like the cinch sleeves on view D. I think for the fabric that I've chosen though, I'm gonna go with view D. And for that fabric, I have chosen this beautiful cream fabric. It has birds on it, and it also has a nice shimmer to it. It has a beautiful weight to it. And I've actually picked up more fabric than I need for this pattern. For view D, based on the finished garment measurements, I'm going to be looking at needing 1 1/8 yards. I purchased 2 yards of this, so I may have enough to do a cami. That Butterick 7001 that I did, I used it for pattern hackathon. I also used it for some scrap left over in my stash. I may have enough to do that as well. And that's just making as much use of this fabric as possible. I purchased this on clearance for 70% off. The regular price on this was $19.99 at Joann. So you know this is good quality if this fabric is priced that high there. And once again, it has a beautiful weight to it, and I can't see through it. So I love that. It's opaque. And once again, that is Simplicity 8880. Now let's work my way into my knits. The first knit top that I want to work on is a bodysuit, and that is New Look 6752. I'm looking at view B, and that's just the turtleneck with the long sleeves. I hated turtlenecks as a kid, but as an adult, I really like them. And if I can find a turtleneck that doesn't go all the way up my neck, but maybe about halfway up my neck so I don't get makeup all over the collar, I love that even more. So for this pattern, I have selected another floral. This is a rust floral. It is a rib knit. I purchased it from Joann. I'm going to be honest with you, nearly all of these fabrics are from Joann. I am limited in the fabric stores that I have in my area, so Joann it is. I'm also motivated by cost, and I can get some great fabrics at a really good cost at Joann. So that's where I go. Now, this is a rust floral, and it is a ribbed knit. I have not worked with a knit in a really long time. I just did my knit so bad. This summer, I swore through and through that I was a knit girl, and this summer was like, that's what you thought. But I found great confidence in working with these silky fabrics, something that intimidated me years ago. Last year, this time, I was intimidated by the idea of working with silky, flowy fabrics, and now I've got my system down pat. And the pieces that I wear the most are the pieces that are silky. So that is New Look 6752, bringing it home for my knits. The next knit top that I want to work on is Simplicity 3003. This is a newer release pattern. It came out just last month, and I am looking at view B. I like the sleeves as well as the turtleneck aspect, and I'm going to be using another knit. This is a jersey knit. It's a periwinkle, and it is white roses with a orange outline, a rust orange. I want to be mindful that it is still fall, so I want to get into a different color palette, but still playing around with these prints as well as colors that I don't typically work with. I don't own anything periwinkle. Purple is just not my jam, but I love this print so much, and I think it's going to look great. I love the sleeves on view B. It's going to look good. I'm here for it. This will probably be one of the very first things I work on this fall. The next knit top that I would like to make is McCall's 8003. I searched high and low for this pattern and finally found it towards the end of last year. I am looking at view, oh no, I can't say view C because that would be 3 turtlenecks in a row. Okay, I'm looking at view B because I don't need that many turtlenecks. But what I do like is a little peekaboo in the chest. I like that. I think these 3 knit tops are all rated as easy. For that pattern, I would like to use this green floral print. This is a jersey knit as well. I love green. I wear it all the time. It's one of my favorite colors. It's just so versatile for me. I don't know why. This one maybe not so. Yes, this one is. With all the different colors in here, I could play around. This would look great with a pair of jeans, denim jeans. This will look great with a pair of khakis. This will look great with a pair of navy slacks, black, of course. This is going to be a versatile piece in my closet as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Once again, that pattern is McCall's 8003. So I only have 2 dress patterns in mind for this fall, headed into winter season, and the first of which is McCall's 7999. This is a knit dress pattern. I think this was a go-to pattern many years ago. It came out in 2021. I am looking at view A. Oh, darn it. It's a turtleneck. Okay, but this is a dress, so cut me some slack, okay? So this is a turtleneck dress. I would probably do, no, I would keep the shorter sleeves. For that, I have shopped this brushed jersey knit out of my stash, and I've had this fabric for a while now, and so I want to put it to use. I think this dress pattern would be the best way to do so. I also only have 2 yards, so I want to get a dress pattern that I can make modifications to and still have enough fabric. I went ahead and paired this pattern with this fabric because I can see myself wearing it with a nice pair of black boots, topping it with a blazer sweater, and it's still looking pretty chic. So that is that. Not much to say on this pairing. This pattern is also rated as easy. I think I failed to mention the ratings on all the patterns, but I'm looking forward to that one. The next dress pattern that I have is back to the wovens. This is a silky print, but this is for McCall's 8083. This pattern has 3 dress variations, and I'm looking at either view B or view C. I do like the fluttery sleeves of view C as well as the belt, but then I liked the cinch sleeves on view B. So when the time comes, I have to decide which I would like to do because I'm almost certain I have enough fabric for both of them. Let's see here. I have 2 3/8 of fabric here. So that is enough to do view B. It is not enough to do view C. So that decision's been made. So view B it is. And for that, I have this black hammered silky fabric. This is a rayon, and it is this a floral? And it is a floral. I don't have a lot of black in my wardrobe, so this should go a long ways for me. I love the texture of this woven. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Got a nice sheen to it. It looks pretty high quality, so I'm looking forward to making that. This pattern also has buttons on it. Couldn't get away from that. And they are functional buttons, I do believe. So yeah, moving right along, let's go into our bottoms. And the first bottom I'd like to share is a skirt pattern. And that is because I am giving the satin skirt another go. I worked on one earlier this summer, and it was with a satin. It had an invisible zipper. The invisible zipper, it wasn't perfect, but it looked good. But overall, the dress was stunning. It was beautiful. And I went to go put it on, and the sucker wouldn't even go over my hips. You want to talk about somebody who was mad? Mad. That skirt was a 16, and I could not slide that thing over my hips. I was pissed. So I ended up giving it away to somebody, or it's in here somewhere. I don't know. And I said I was done with it. And then I went to my closet and realized that I had 4 or 5 other slip skirts. And I was like, no, it's a waste of time. I lied to myself because then I stumbled across this pattern, McCall's 8044. And I said, I really like view C. It has buttons instead of a zipper, even though that wasn't the issue. It was just too small. And I was like, hey, let me give it another try. And so I found this matte satin. It looks like lining fabric, but it wasn't classified as lining fabric. But it's got a nice, good weight to it. It's got a good little sheen to it, even though it's matte. And I found it. This is 2 yards of fabric, I do believe. And I got it on clearance for $8 total, like $8.08, something like that total. And I thought that it would be perfect to try view C since it looks pretty much the same color. It also has buttons, so I'm really excited about that. And we'll see how that goes. For this pattern, I picked up this size 14 to 22. The last pattern was a McCall's pattern. It was a Learn to Sew, I do believe. And I made a 16 in that, and it was still too small. So this time around, based on the finished garment measurements, I should be making a 14. Should I make a 12? Yes. Am I? No. Not at all. Wouldn't even consider it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. If it doesn't work out, at least I didn't waste that much money. It was a couple Starbucks. Next. So while that does it for the skirts, let's talk about pants. And I have selected Simplicity 8389. It is an easy to sew pattern, and I'm looking at view A or view B. I've had this pattern for a while. It originally came out in 2019. And for that pattern, I have selected this brown flowy fabric, and I'm going to be wearing shapewear underneath because it is just slightly see-through. It's pretty thin, so I'll be wearing shapewear underneath. But I don't own brown pants, and I do like flowy pants. I have a handful in my ready to wear wardrobe, but I don't own brown. And brown is something I'd like to incorporate. I think it would also look spectacular with this fabric that we discussed earlier. Nice flowy top, flowy pants, boom, boom, bam. So beautiful. Next, I have Butterick 6901, and I am looking at view A. That is the vest. I like how fitted it is. I like how short or how cropped it is. I also like that I could layer it with a top underneath as well as wear it solo. And for this pattern, I have selected this tan suiting. This tan suiting was oddly inexpensive at Joann. It was regular $13.99. And it was 70% off. So I got it pretty cheap on clearance. And I appreciate that so much, just in case it doesn't work out. But I really would like a vest. I don't own a vest at all in my ready to wear or my me made. So I like the idea of making one. I like the idea of wearing one. I could see myself dressing this up with a pair of slacks, casualing it down with a pair of denim jeans, adding a short sleeve top underneath, adding a long sleeve top underneath, adding a turtleneck underneath, I don't know, layering it by having a top underneath and a cardigan over it or a blazer over it, who knows, but this will definitely be a versatile piece, and I chose this color on purpose. So that is Butterick 6901. Trucking right along, I have another vest pattern that I do believe I've mentioned on the channel before. This is Vogue 2036, and I like the vest. I'm going to pass on the pants because I don't like cropped pants, but I do love the vest, and I have purchased enough fabric that I could pull a pant pattern out of my stash. But for view A, I have selected this brocade that I found on clearance at Joann. It is it's not a micro dot. I don't know what this fabric would be classified as, what this design would be classified as. Maybe a micro grid, but it is a silver and a taupe, or a silver and brown. I don't know, but it has a beautiful sheen. Now it sounds really vinyl-y, so I don't like how it sounds, and it's already been pre-washed and still giving me that vinyl cheap sound to it, but it's completely opaque, which I like. My only concern about the fabric is the structure of it. I'm hoping it'll lay nice against my body, but we'll see. I picked this up on clearance as well. Nearly everything is on clearance. Yep. Yeah. Nearly everything is on clearance. Hey, I like a good deal. Okay, so that is that fabric for this pattern, and that is Vogue 2036. The next pattern that we're going to discuss is a Shacket, and that is Simplicity 9388. I'm looking at view B or view C, and for this pattern, I have picked up a blue corduroy fabric. This fabric is the only one that is not from Joann. It is from Hobby Lobby. And I purchased it on sale I purchased it on clearance. Here's my receipt. This fabric was on clearance 2 weeks ago for $1.60 a yard. Is that not an amazing deal? I paid $4.80 for these 3 yards of fabric. I would have purchased everything off the bolt, but I'm gonna be practical with myself and know that this is just a Shacket for me. Nothing more. Not a corduroy fan. I did think about making a corduroy dress because I have a couple patterns that would work well with that, but I'm not in kindergarten. It's just a corduroy dress is not for me. So Shacket it is, and that is Simplicity 9388. It's something that I could layer with a hoodie like the model in the picture is wearing, layering with the top, layering with the sweatshirt, wearing it closed, wearing it open, who knows. It's blue, so it's going to be pretty versatile. Wear it with a lot of other colors or patterns. It's solid. So yeah, even though corduroy is not my jam, I do think this is going to be great. And I do think it's something I'm going to pick up over the course of this season, headed into winter as well. Now let's move these on down. The next piece I want to discuss is a cardigan. A cardigan is a must for this year. And I have selected Simplicity 9373. I recently picked this up. And I'm looking at View B or View C, maybe even View D. When I go to use this pattern, I think I'm going to trace it out only because I like all of the views. But to get started, I've picked up, Joanne calls this pink. It looks tan to me, but I see where they can get pink from. But this is a sweater knit. I like the lightness of it based on the versatility and being able to wear it with so many things. My husband purchased me a cardigan many, many years ago from TJ Maxx, and it was similar in color to this, and I wore it out. As a matter of fact, it is the piece in my closet that caused me to get a sweater shaver. Never owned one, didn't know what it was for, but that cardigan was peeling so bad. And so I bought the sweater shaver, was taking care of that thing. I've had it for, I don't know, 10 years. And after this last pregnancy, it does not fit. It is so tight. It is small. It's uncomfortable. I cannot wear it anymore. It just look like I'm busting out of the thing, okay? So it's a no-go now. It's tight on my arms. It's tight across my back. So I bought this fabric to substitute it. So I'm going to be making a cardigan. And when I wear it, I'm thinking of my babes. I don't know why, but I am. So that is Simplicity 9373. Oh, it also has buttons and buttonholes. So that's my jam, okay? Is it weird that I like that? I think so. I like bias tape too. I mentioned that on a previous video. I like bias tape. I like working with it. I like buttons. I like making buttonholes. We all have our things, okay? Next, and this is one of the pieces that I'm probably most excited about. This is Simplicity 3010. This pattern just came out last month. It is a Mimi G pattern. Look, I am such a fan of Mimi G, and I have been giving these Mimi G patterns a go all the time, and they fail me. They fail me every time. So hopefully, this is a knit. No, there is a knit dress that has been failing me. What is that number? I'm gonna pop it on the screen, but I've given that dress 2 goes, and it has not worked out for me. I've also made 2 coordinates that were Mimi G that I'm not the happiest about the outcome. We're gonna give it another try. And this is a coordinate set. You got the crop top or the tank top, the skirt, and the cardigan. I love the cardigan. I love that it is shorter length. I also love that it is really big and billowy. I like the skirt. The skirt will probably get shortened on me because I have long legs. I don't really like maxi skirts. The crop tank top, it will get lengthened because I'm not showing my midsection. So I need to make some modifications, but I purchased 4 yards of this olive green ribbed sweater knit. Oh my goodness. Do you see this color? I love cream. It's just, it feels nice and soft. I'm hoping that it lasts a long time. I'm going to definitely treat it very well. Oh, but I cannot wait to make this pattern. This will definitely be coming up very soon. especially with the versatility and the weather in my area. It is definitely chilly in the morning, and then it is sweltering hot by the afternoon. And so being able to take that cardigan off in the afternoon, show my arms, feel good, and then chillier nights, put that cardigan on. I like that. I think this is going to be great. Wear it with heels, wear it with boots. The world is my oyster, okay? So definitely look out for this one soon, ASAP. And the last fabric and pattern pairing that I have is this black and white faux fur. Have you been eyeing it this entire video? Is this fabric not beautiful? Let's get to the pattern first. Okay. McCall's 7847. Now, I made this pattern earlier in the year. It was one of the first things I made this year. I think I made it in February, and I made a faux fur creamed jacket. It's also lined, and that was my first time lining a garment, I do believe. Flawless execution. I don't know what tapped into me, but I had the make prior to that was a complete and utter fail. And I don't know what it was. I was just determined to take it seriously. That fail really hurt my heart. And so I gave a jacket another go, and that faux fur jacket is flipping flawless. It's beautiful. And guess what? The only thing I don't like about that jacket are the sleeves are a hair too short. The only thing I don't like. I don't even think I wore that coat out because it's been so hot. Even when I made it, it was hot when I was wearing it, taking pictures around the house. So I don't think it got worn. Hopefully I'll be able to wear it this winter, but I want to work with that pattern again because I truly enjoyed it. If you don't have this 7847, please go get it if you're interested in working with faux furs. This is a fitted lined coat with a notch collar and snap closure. It is a wonderful sew. It is a wonderful fit. It's definitely top tier. So I want to work with it again, and I have chosen this very retro faux fur black and white checker print. It's giving mod. It's giving rich auntie. Like, it's beautiful, and I'm going to covet this fabric so much so. It's a great thing I've already worked with this pattern, so I already know what to expect, and I shouldn't anticipate on wasting the fabric, but I did pay $52 for this. My husband might be watching this. I already said it now. I paid a lot of money for this fabric, and that was on sale. So we're not wasting these 3 yards, okay? We're going to make it work. It's going to turn out beautiful. Going to get some black lining fabric or get a nice, fun, and funky, flirty fabric to go on the inside. Definitely looking forward to making this. You will see this me batch cut and maybe have a solo dedicated video to it because I'm that excited. Okay. So that is McCall's 7847. A learn to sew. Really, most of those patterns are easy to sew. So that's awesome and certainly a coincidence. Those are my fall picks. I'm certain I won't tackle all of them in fall. So I hope that you were inspired to grab some of those patterns as well as head to your local fabric store and get your fall fabrics. Get up, get to that sewing machine, and make some beautiful fall me-mades. Now, if you enjoyed this video, definitely consider giving me a thumbs up to let me know that you liked it. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. Join the fam. I would love to have you. Make sure you stay tuned for my fall batch cutting coming up very soon. And if you haven't already, take a look at last week's video where I share all of my fall sewing goals. As always, I love you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.